Couple things. Last night was an Alonso Torres night, so that's good news for the Mets, and the Mets actually helped the Yankees by beating the Orioles, and the Orioles helped themselves by beating Toronto up in Buffalo. And Torres has a great night, and he carries the Yankees, and Edwin Diaz and Familia come in. They don't give up any runs, and then obviously Alonso hits the bomb to put the Mets ahead. And the one thing I'll say about the Mets from an offensive standpoint, they don't stop. They're relentless. They keep coming back. They will get down 5-1, 6-1 in games, and they just continue to come back and come back and come back. So offensively, at least, it seems like their players. This Jimenez kid has just been unbelievable, and it's just I don't know if they have enough pitching. Their starting pitching stinks.
Well,
after
they need to score that many runs because
I know that. I know, but at least they come back.
Horrendous.
At least they come back, and it was great to see Gleyber Torres do what he did last night because somebody, whether it be LeMahieu, Torres, Gary Sanchez, if they're going to keep him around and put him out there on the field, it can't be just Luke Voit. It's got to be other players and other players that you have high regard for. Andujar has been doing it a little bit over the last week or so, but it was really, really, I think, good and I would imagine satisfying for Yankee fans. Now, there was also
Davey Garcia. You need to mention him if you're talking about the Yankees last night and Davey Garcia. This young guy steps in. He's got all the confidence in the world. He pitches like a 10-year vet. He was in total control, wasn't overwhelmed. I mean, he was the biggest part of the game for the Yankees last night and that win. And also, if you want to mention another thing that was just so critical for the Mets was that Michael Conforto catch, which essentially could have saved the season and saved 3 runs and was one of the best catches we have seen in Major League Baseball all year. So hats off to those guys. And, hey, both teams surviving a night, which they needed to do. There was no other option for these two teams but to win last night, and they both got it done.
I agree. But, I was just pointing out Torres and Alonso just simply because of the expectations that are placed upon their shoulders, and they came up big. They came up big for one night, and now they got to continue to do it. There was an unbelievable basketball game last night, too, between the Raptors and Boston, and I was watching the last, I would say, both overtimes going back and forth between that and the hockey and the commercials and all this everything. I mean, you talk about a championship pedigree. So the Raptors show that last night. And the Raptors come out, and you talk about guys being on the court, playing their asses off, knocking each other down. It was like a hockey game, unfolded with a basketball on the wood. Last night, and it was on the hardwood last night, and it was good. It was a tremendous game, and the same thing can be said.
You hate the NBA, so for you to say this is like
I don't hate the NBA. What I do appreciate though is that
the NBA
and the NHL actually have done it right, and I think what we are seeing now with these teams now in the playoffs and the way that they're playing. You're seeing desperation, you're seeing effort, you're seeing defense, you're seeing physicality, and that's what I love the most. And I have to tell you, after watching last night's Islander game, I told you they would be back. I told you they would play better. This team has a DNA within it that really does lend itself to be able to overcome adverse situations. Now, whether or not they're going to be good enough overall to win this series, I don't know. You could tell that Victor Hedman he's just a notch above everybody else on the ice. I don't care what anybody says. He's a defenseman who plays offense. He plays defense. He hits people. People can't knock him down. And he creates plays and he creates opportunities. And I knew that he was going to be the biggest pain in the ass for the Islanders to deal with. Now, the Islanders we all know they should have won the game last night, especially with the injuries to the forwards of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Those guys kept talking about it last night, and the Islanders, unfortunately, didn't let it happen. Here's the question that I have. I have no idea why the line that was out there. Now, Pajot is a really terrific player, so I don't mind him being on the ice. He's smart. He's played great. He's been a great pickup, and he's played great through the playoffs. But how they got stuck out there with Andrew Ladd and Leo Komarov at the same time, and Andrew Ladd hasn't played in 4 months, and they decided to insert him last night. Now, he hit some people last night. I think he had 5 hits. He tried to get his sea legs underneath him. But, in a critical point in the game, all of a sudden all hell breaks loose. And if you watch him, you could see that he's just unsure of where he is and what he's doing. And Ryan McDonough just makes an unbelievable pass to Nikita Kucherov and ends up back in the back of the net with 8 seconds to go. But
and that was the third really good
chance on that
Tampa Bay
little series
within 10 seconds. Right, and that was a problem.
Right. So the Islanders, they come out 0 for 4 in the power play. They had a 5-3. They couldn't score. They're trying to be, to me, just watching, they're trying to be too pinpoint with their passes. They got to be more straight ahead. They are a straight ahead team. And when they play like they played last night, they're going to get opportunities. And I have to say, and I know I'm biased, 100% biased about this, but my son-in-law is laying it on the line, man. He is freaking laying it on the line. And so
I was hoping he was
going
to. Yeah, I was hoping he was going to get the Gordie Howe hat trick, which is the goal, assist, in a fight. He ended up getting the goal in 2 fights last night, and he was just he went out there and basically said, if you're going to win this game, you have to run through me to be able to do it.
Well, his line,
that's what it seemed like he was saying. Yeah.
Right, him, Cal, and Casey are the heart and soul. Now, if they're the heart and soul and they're scoring and they're playing hard and they're hitting the other team, I think they had 18 hits combined between the three of them. The other guys have got to score. The Matthew Barzals of the world, the Anthony Beauvilliers of the world.
He was great, though. He was great.
I know he's great, but they have to score.
I know. I mean, Matt Martin can't be carrying the load.
No.
Yeah, Matt Martin can't be carrying the load offensively. He's the only guy who scores a goal last night.
So you see,
and you're right.
Right, Nikita Kucherov and Victor Hedman score goals last night. Those are two of their best players. So, and if you have an advantage on the power play, you have the more shots, you have the more hits, you win the more faceoffs. And the thing about it is when Devin Taves takes that really unfortunate icing, which I do believe Kevin Shattenkirk touched the puck. I believe he did. And that faceoff should have been at center ice, not down in the Islander zone. Matthew Barzal basically gave up on the faceoff and lost the faceoff, and Hedman ends up with the puck at the back of the net. Devin Taves has got to take the hit. He's got to take the red line, and he's got to get it deep. He cannot shy away from that hit, and I know that he didn't think that he threw it hard enough to go down there to force the icing, and I know he believed that Kevin Shattenkirk touched it. We all think he touched it, but that's how tight these games are when they're played the way that they were played last night, and the Islanders got their legs back. They showed who they are. I still think that this has got a long way to go, especially if there are those key injuries with Braden Point for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Right, and that to me was the biggest thing. You get Killorn out, then you get Braden Point out, and they're playing with 9 forwards essentially for the rest of the game, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and then you get these opportunities like the 5-minute major, and then you get the 5-on-3 for 38 seconds, and then the rest of that power play. And you're right. I mean, it was just pass the puck. It wasn't shooting the puck. It wasn't getting traffic in front of the net. It wasn't trying to make something happen. It was almost like Vasilevsky got into their heads, and they had to be perfect in order to score, as opposed to doing some of the dirty work, the grinding that they did to get him to this place. It was almost as if, all right, this goaltender is the best we have seen, and we better be damn near perfect to score on him. Where if you think about the first goal, the Matt Martin goal, I mean, that's exactly the way they've been doing things. They've been dumping and chasing. They've been playing the puck behind the net. They've been throwing it out in front. They've been muscling people, and they've been scoring goals that way. And then in those power plays, they were trying to be too fine. So it was frustrating. This was a rip your heart out type of loss, as opposed to the flush the loss in Game 1. I mean, this was like, how in the hell did they lose that game? And then to give up that goal with 7 seconds to go on the third great opportunity for the Lightning, it was horrible. It was right. Absolutely horrible. And now they're down 2-0.
And the Lightning were kind of like the Islanders in Game 1. They weren't really crisp with their passing. That Killorn hit, and plus they were going after Nelson. And Nelson, there should have been another penalty called that wasn't called. There was a cross check to the back of the neck. But
were you opening a present just now?
No, I was just opening my super coffee.
Oh, I was going to say.
Sorry about that. That's okay. But anyway,
an exercise.
Yeah. I don't know. The team's got a really good DNA. I don't know. And again, they trot Matt out after the game because that's what they do when they lose. Let's put Matt Martin out there. Let him discuss the team.
He also scored the goal.
I know.
He got into 2 fights. He was the guy to talk to last night.
Yeah, I guess he was. I didn't want to text him or anything, but look, they got good solid DNA, man. They'll be back again. They'll play hard again. This is the one thing I will say about Tampa Bay is that their defense is playing phenomenal. They're blocking a lot of shots, and one of the reasons the guys do pass a lot is not because of Vasilevsky as much as it is trying to find a shooting lane, and they do a really good job of clogging up the shooting lanes, they had a ton of block shots last night and shots that couldn't get through. But guys like Nick Leddy, Devin Taves, Pulak, and Pelech, those guys have got to get the puck into the net. I wonder, what's going to be interesting here. I know putting Andrew Ladd in the lineup last night probably shocked a lot of people, and it shocked me. I didn't ever expect him to be in the lineup. But for whatever reason, Lou and Barry Trotz felt like that was going to be something they needed, some veteran and some size and but then to get stuck out on the ice in the last 8 seconds like that just really put him in a bad spot. That's not playing the guy at the right time of the game. That's all I can say. And then the other thing is, I wonder if we're going to see Johnny Boychuk at any point in time in this series. He is totally healthy. He's just sitting there. And, he is a valuable veteran defenseman who's got a huge, point shot. Now, he hasn't played a lot because of the injury that he sustained against Florida. But I'm wondering if, maybe he comes back and Andy Green goes and takes a day off. Because, Andy's been playing solid, but the last 2 games I don't think have been great for Andy. But and he can play better. Maybe Johnny Boychuk makes a return. Because I think Barry Trotz feels like he's got to have guys that are going to get the puck through from the point, especially on the power play.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.